Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. The events of 18th November 2024 are follows. Bengali date Dosra Agrayan 1431. As per Benimadhav Sil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Krishna Tritiya and up to 2204 hours, and after that Krishna Chaturthi. Today's Nakhotra is Mrigashira Nakhotra and up to 1928 hours, and after that Ardra Nakhotra. Today is 323rd day of the year. There are then 43 days left in 2023-24. Today is 47th Monday of 2024. Today is World Adult Day. World Adult Day is celebrated on November 18th to address the challenges of aging and to create a supportive environment for older people. Today is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men. The International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men is celebrated on November 18th each year. The Domestic Abuse and Violence International Alliance (DAVIA) founded it in 2022. Today is Underwater Hockey World Day. Underwater Hockey World Day is celebrated on November 18th each year. It was first celebrated in 2019 by a group of players who choose the date because it's believed to be when the sport was first played in the 1950s. Today is International Occult Day. International Occult Day is celebrated on November 18th. The exact origins of Occult Day are not clear, but it is believed to have roots in All Saints' Day, which is traditionally celebrated on November 1st. The word occult comes from the Latin word occultus, which means hidden, secret or clandestine. In modern times, occult practices are centered around using hidden powers to bend the laws of nature for personal gain. The three main types of occult sciences are alchemy, natural magic and astrology. In the early 16th century, the term occult sciences was used to describe these three traditions, which all relied on the belief in occult properties in the cosmos. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Niels Bohr, 7th October 1885 to 18th November 1962. Niels Bohr was a Danish physicist and one of the most influential figures in the development of modern atomic theory and quantum mechanics. His groundbreaking work on the structure of the atom and his contributions to understanding atomic behavior earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1922. Bohr's legacy is profound, as his ideas laid the foundation for much of our understanding of atomic and subatomic processes, influencing both theoretical physics and practical appliances in areas like nuclear energy and quantum computing. His insights continue to be central to modern physics. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Batukeshwar Datta, 18 November 1910 to 20th July 1965. Batukeshwar Datta was an Indian socialist and independence fighter in the early 1900s. He is best known for having exploded two bombs along with Bhagat Singh in the Central Legislative Assembly in New Delhi on 8th April 1929. After they were arrested, tried and imprisoned for life, he and Singh initiated a historic hunger strike protesting against the abusive treatment of Indian political prisoners and eventually secured some rights for them. He was also a member of the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Wilder Herman Ernest, 25th June 1864 to 18th November 1941. Wilder Hermann Ernst was a German physical chemist known for his work in thermodynamics, physical chemistry, electrochemistry and solid-state physics. His formulation of the Nernst heat theorem helped pave the way for the third law of thermodynamics, for which he won the 1920 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. He is also known for developing the Nernst equation in 1887. He studied physics and mathematics at the universities of Zurich, Berlin, Graz and Würzburg, where he received his doctorate in 1887. In 1889, he finished his habilitation at University of Leipzig. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Louis Daguerre, 18 November 1787 to 10th July 1861. Louis Jacques Mande Daguerre was a French artist and photographer recognized for his invention of the eponymous daguerreotype process of photography. He became known as one of the fathers of photography. Though he is most famous for his contributions to photography, he was also an accomplished painter, scenic designer, and a developer of the diorama theatre. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Lord Patrick Maynard Stuart Blackett, 18 November 1897 to 13th July 1974. Patrick Maynard Stuart Blackett, Baron Blackett, was a British experimental physicist known for his work on cloud chambers, cosmic rays, and plymagnetism. Awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1948. In 1925, he became the first person to prove that radioactivity could cause the nuclear transmutation of one chemical element to another. He also made a major contribution in World War II, advising on military strategy and developing operational research. His views saw an outlet in Third World development and in influencing policy in the Labour government of the 1960s. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. George Wald, 18 November 1906 to 12 April 1997. George Wald was an American scientist and activist who studied pigments in the retina. He won a share of the 1967 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine with Haldan Keffer, Hartline, and Ragnar Granit. In 1970, Wald predicted that civilization will end within 15 or 30 years unless immediate action is taken against problems facing mankind. Today, that is 18 November, highlight in history. 1601, Tiryaki Hasan Pasha, an Ottoman provincial governor, routs the Habsburg forces commanded by Archduke Ferdinand II of Austria, who were besieging Nagi Kanizsa. 1626, the new St. Peter's Basilica in Rome is consecrated. 1730, the future Frederick the Great of Prussia is granted a pardon by his father and is released from confinement. 1760, the rebuilt debtors' prison at the Castellania in Valletta receives the first prisoners. 1803, the Battle of Vertières, the last major battle of the Haitian Revolution, is fought, leading to the establishment of the Republic of Haiti, the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere. 1809, in a naval action during the Napoleonic Wars, French frigates defeat British East Indiamen in the Bay of Bengal. 1812, Napoleonic Wars, the Battle of Krasnoy ends in French defeat, but Marshal of France Michel Ney's leadership leads to him becoming known as the bravest of the brave. 1863, King Christian IX of Denmark signs the November Constitution that declares Schleswig to be part of Denmark. This is seen by the German Confederation as a violation of the London Protocol and leads to the German-Danish War of 1864. 1867, an earthquake strikes the Virgin Islands, triggering the largest tsunami witnessed in the Caribbean and killing dozens. 1872, Susan B. Anthony and 14 other women are arrested for voting illegally in the United States presidential election of 1872. 1883, American and Canadian railroads institute 5 standard continental time zones, ending the confusion of thousands of local times. 1901, Britain and the United States signed the Hay-Pauncefote Treaty, which nullifies the Clayton-Bulwer Treaty and withdraws British objections to an American-controlled canal in Panama. 1903, the Hay-Bunau-Varilla Treaty is signed by the United States and Panama, giving the United States exclusive rights over the Panama Canal Zone. 1905, Prince Karl of Denmark becomes King Haakon VII of Norway. 1909, two United States warships are sent to Nicaragua after 500 revolutionaries, including two Americans, are executed by order of Jose Santos Zelaya. 1910, in their campaign for women's voting rights, hundreds of suffragettes marched to the British Parliament in London. Several are beaten by police. Newspaper attention embraces the authorities, and the march is dubbed Black Friday. 1916, World War I, First Battle of the Somme in France, British Expeditionary Force Commander Douglas Haig calls off the battle, which started on July 1, 1916. 1918, Latvia declares its independence from Russia. 1928, release of the animated short Steamboat Willie, the first fully synchronized sound cartoon. 1929, Grand Banks earthquake of the south coast of Newfoundland in the Atlantic Ocean, a Richter magnitude 7.2 submarine earthquake centered on the Grand Banks breaks 12 submarine transatlantic telegraph cables and triggers a tsunami that destroys many south coast communities in the Burin Peninsula. 1940, World War II, German leader Adolf Hitler and Italian Foreign Minister Galeazzo Ciano meet to discuss Benito Mussolini's disastrous Italian invasion of Greece. 1943, World War II, Battle of Berlin, 440 Royal Air Force planes bomb Berlin, causing only flight damage and killing 131. The RAF loses 9 aircraft and 53 aircrew. 1944, the Popular Socialist Youth is founded in Cuba. 1947, the Valentine's department store fire in Christchurch, New Zealand, kills 41. It is the worst fire disaster in the history of New Zealand. 1949, the Iba Valley shooting occurs after the coal miners of Enugu in Nigeria go on strike over withheld wages. 21 miners are shot dead and 51 are wounded by police under the supervision of the British colonial administration of Nigeria. 1961, United States President John F. Kennedy sends 18,000 military advisors to South Vietnam. 1963, the first push-button telephone goes into service. 1970, US President Richard Nixon asks the US Congress for $155 million in supplemental aid for the Cambodian government. 1971, Oman declares its independence from the United Kingdom. 1978, the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet makes its first flight at the Naval Air Test Center in Maryland, United States. In 1978, in Jonestown, Guyana, Jim Jones leads his People's Temple to a mass murder suicide that claimed 918 lives in all, 909 of them in Jonestown itself, including over 270 children. 1983, Aeroflot Flight 6833 is hijacked en route from Tbilisi to Leningrad. After returning to Tbilisi, the aircraft is subsequently raided on the ground, resulting in 7 deaths. 1985, the first comic of Calvin and Hobbes is published in 10 newspapers. 1987, King's Crossfire. In London, 31 people die in a fire at the city's busiest underground station, King's Cross, St. Pancras. 1991, Shiite Muslim kidnappers in Lebanon release Anglican Church envoys Terry Waite and Thomas Sutherland. 1991, after an 87-day siege, the Croatian city of Vukovar capitulates to the besieging Yugoslav People's Army and allied Serb paramilitary forces. 1991, the autonomous Croatian community of Herzegovina, Bosnia, which would in 1993 become a republic, was established in Bosnia and Herzegovina. 1993, in the United States, the North American Free Trade Agreement NAFTA is approved by the House of Representatives. 1993, in South Africa, 21 political parties approve a new constitution expanding voting rights and ending white minority rule. 1996, a fire occurs on a train traveling through the Channel Tunnel from France to England, causing several injuries and damaging approximately 500 meters, 1600 feet of tunnel. 1999, at Texas A&M University, the Aggie bonfire collapses, killing 12 students and injuring 27 others. 2002 Iraq disarmament crisis. United Nations weapons inspectors led by Hans Blix arrive in Iraq. 2003 the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court rules 4-3 in Goodrich versus Department of Public Health that the state's ban on same-sex marriage is unconstitutional and gives the state legislature 180 days to change the law, making Massachusetts the first state in the United States to grant marriage rights to same-sex couples. 2012 Pope Tawadros II of Alexandria becomes the 118th Pope of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria. 2013 NASA launches the MAVEN probe to Mars. 2020 the Utah monolith, built sometime in 2016, is discovered by state biologists of the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. Thank you very much for your patience.